Hi everyone. So today I decided to look into divine masculine energy. This will be twin flame, non-twin flame, regardless, everyone. I know I haven't done the twin flame readings for a while. I am thinking of doing one soon, but there's just a lot going on these days. And I think this channel organically shifted a little bit from that theme because I'm not as focused on that journey myself. But that doesn't mean that I don't value it or I don't recognize it. And I do want to provide readings for the Twin Flame Collective specifically once in a while. So we'll get to that. We'll get back to that soon. With all that said, there's solstice coming up less than 2 days from now as I'm recording this, and it's very important for me to do a solstice reading right now. Not in this particular video, but let's say in the next one for the weekend. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. But in the meantime, I know that a lot of us have questions on how our DMs are doing, what's going on with them. So we'll do a usual checking the energy, the thoughts, and the actions. We'll also get a message from DM to DF at the end. That would be what they would like to say if they had a chance, right? Which means that even if you are in contact with your DM, this could be the message that for one or another reason they refrain from giving you. All right, we will start with a quick oracle message, and there will be one for each collective. We will start with the feminines watching, and then we'll focus on the masculine energy. I am on the beach, as you can see. I don't know if you guys can see yeah, probably not. Let me see if I can tweak this a little bit so you can actually see the ocean. See, to me is a little bit less important, let's face it, when you have this kind of scenery. It's a beautiful day. It's getting a little hot, and it's windy too, so just FYI. I mean, well, more news. I finally got a microphone that I can use for this kind of occasions. I haven't figured out how it works yet, so you know, that's one of my goals for the weekend, really, to figure it out so I can bring it with me to the beach, so you guys still have good quality of the audio even in these conditions. But for the moment, I'll try to speak up, and I think overall the phone is managing pretty well with this kind of state of things. So, and a reminder for everyone to, of course, like the video, support the channel, share it, leave a comment, you know the drill. So Divine Feminines, your message today. Synchronicity is a love letter from the universe across time and space. Look out for synchronicities, look out for signs. This message, the reading itself, is definitely included as one of them. But also throughout the day, what are the little signs you're noticing? What is your language of signs that you speak with your guides? Do you notice things in the lyrics of music that you hear? Do you notice it in nature around you? Do you pay attention to certain insights from, I don't know, movies and shows that you watch, books that you read, conversations that you have, right? There is an important message for you there today, so pay attention. And for the masculines, the message is your effortless effort is fully required, number 39. It is a masculine energy, but in its integrated form, where we're not supposed to push, we're not supposed to strive for full control, but it's more of an aligned action, in alignment with your intentions, with your dreams, with your passion and purpose. We just had a new moon recently, which means that we are in that energy of that wave that is growing, you know, the momentum where we're supposed to manifest our dreams into reality. So this is the time to take action based on what you've set yourself up for and what you're trying to achieve in this cycle. Okay, let's get to tarot. So it will be energy, thoughts, and actions. For the energy, we have 4 of coins, Temperance, and 5 of Cups. Okay. They're taking a little bit of an action to hold my cards so they don't fly away. For the thoughts, we have Death. Wow. We have the Emperor. And we have Queen of Swords. And finally, the action that they're taking, of course, in the context of this connection. That's what we're talking about. The Magician. High Priestess. And the Hangman. Wow, look at all the major arcanas. This is crazy. I've got like 8 out of 9. No, not 8 out of 9, but 7, I guess. No, 6. 6 out of 9. That's a lot. All right. Let's see. So for the energy, we have 4 of Coins, the Temperance, and the 5 of Cups. So DMs are definitely held back by something in their energy. And this could be anything from some kind of karmic commitment that they have, where they feel like for some reason they can't move fully towards the feminine at this time. And that's like deeply on the energetic level. So it's even beyond what they think or want. Or it's some kind of a mindset that is locking down that love, that, open-hearted energy, honesty, authenticity, right? So there's definitely some kind of a sorrow, some kind of sadness of some decisions that were made in the past. And again, this is decisions on the energetic level, right? So it's like now karma is coming around, and then realize, for example, that they can move towards the feminine that they love because they've already made a commitment to another connection, or that they made their own move, I don't know, career-wise, for example, and now they feel like they're married to their job and there's not much they can do when it comes to moving towards the feminine. But there is that overall energy of feeling small and feeling like there's not a lot I can do right now. Now, for the thoughts, we have the Death, the Emperor, and the Queen of Swords. So definitely they can see how this connection, and they realize how this connection is changing them in ways that they never imagined, in ways that are painful at times, right? Because death is a full transformation, which means that it's very uncomfortable. It's very much about, I can't live my life like I do anymore. Something has to go. This has to end for me, to be a better version of myself. And there's this Emperor, which symbolizes the divine masculine, right? Their strength, their authority, and the willpower, and the ability to be that beacon of safety, of protection, right? Like the Emperor is supposed to be for their empire, right? That leader with that assertive energy. So they can see, they're starting to see more clearly what an integrated version of a divine masculine is. And also, essentially, what they need to change to get closer to that. They're not choosing this, I must admit. This is something that's been bestowed upon them. It's like they're hit in the face with this truth. And that is quite a tough pill to swallow on its own. But they understand that the feminine in this case is not gonna take any BS. The feminine can see their weaknesses, their shadow side. And it's not that they immediately despise it, but it's like, in order for a connection to emerge fully, changes have to be made. Because this version of the feminine is gonna stand by somebody weak, or somebody with a bruised ego, or somebody who is playing power games in the relationship and things like that. So basically they realize change is necessary, major change, It's painful for them even to realize that, but as they see it, there's no other way. At this point in time, there is no other way. They've tried to stay where they are for as long as possible, and now this is like that clock ticking or bells ringing, you know, like this is time, baby. And the action we have the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Hanged Man, but this is the Hanged Man in this deck. All major arcana. So they are being fully guided in what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot pursue. They're supposed to step into their divine power. They're supposed to assume a different perspective to what they're used to. And it's like wherever every move that they make, if they're making it not in alignment with the highest truth or with the, you know, high vibrational energy, they get hit in the face, they get a slap. So they're being guided along like this narrow track, like this is what you're supposed to do, this is how they're being taught. And we know that for a lot of divine masculines, they're taught through some tough karmic experiences. This is the path of the divine masculine, right? Whereas the divine feminine rises up in her spirituality, energy work, you know, philosophy and vision. The masculines go through this thicker, tougher experience of karmic events in 3D. Both of them do, of course, but the thickness of it, the majority of it comes onto divine masculines, right? And at this point, they're fully being guided. They may even feel a little bit like puppets, like, you know, somebody is moving me. It's like I cannot even decide for myself, right? Somebody's telling me what to do and I'm just following that. And if I try to resist, it's like a boomerang, it's like that's sling, you know, that just kind of comes back and hits me even harder. They know that there's a lot of beautiful opportunities here, and deep down they know their potential, they know how special the feminine is, that this connection is worth it, basically, because we're talking about action in the context of the connection. They know it's worth it, but it will take a minute for them to stop resisting, because it's very uncomfortable when you feel like you're not really making your own decisions, if that makes sense. Okay, last but not least, message for divine feminines watching from divine masculines. Got the Hierophant. What would they like to tell divine feminines at this time? Page of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles, another Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so they're confessing to, the Hierophant was the main card. They're confessing to divine feminines. I am shielding myself right now. I am hiding, you know, in my hermit mode a little bit. I'm protecting my energy because there's just so much happening and so much changing that I need a moment to redesign what my values are and who I am. Right? Like, what is my role in the community, in the society at this point, or where do I want to go from here? It's not easy, and look at this Four of Pentacles here. There's a blindfold, right? It's like imagine yourself for a moment with a blindfold on. You won't feel nearly as safe to move around as you would when you can see, right? So that's essentially what it is. And so masculine is saying, if I don't make much movement, or I don't communicate as much as you'd hope I would, there is a reason for that. And I have reasons for why I'm keeping it to myself for now. But trust me that something is being built and I'm becoming a much better version of myself. I just don't know exactly what it looks like right now, so I don't want to face you kind of halfway when I'm still in this raw energy of understanding what is it, who I am, why am I doing what I'm doing, what are my priorities in life, how do we make this work, if we should, you know? So there's a lot that they are going through, but one thing that I've already seen in the cards, and I will say again, is that they definitely see the huge value of this connection. Even if they're not fully connected to their heart chakra at this point, they still understand how special this is, and that on some level they know that this is totally worth it. Whereas if it were any other karmic connection before this, it would have been like, you know what, this is too much work. I can find another person, I can figure something out, but I can find a way to stay in the energy that I'm in, to stay in this character, in this identity, and make it work, rather than get out there and essentially burn away my old identity and have to rebuild anew. Imagine how much energy it takes, mental, physical, on all levels. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Sorry about the wind, but hopefully you got at least a little bit of the energy of the ocean with me. Next reading is gonna be about summer solstice. I love you all. Please don't forget to like the video, and of course, if you're new, subscribe to the channel, and until next time.